Hey everyone, welcome back to this C# tutorial. In this lesson, we are going to learn about operators in C#. We are going to look at the different types of operators and how they are used. Operators are one of the most important building blocks of any C# program. In this lesson, we are going to learn the different types of operators in C#, common assignment operators, arithmetic operators, and compound assignment operators. In C#, operators are special types of symbols that perform operations on variables or values. They are a fundamental part of the language and play an important role in performing different mathematical operations. The first type of operator we are going to look at is called an assignment operator. An assignment operator is used to assign values to variables. Assignment operators can be broken into two categories: simple operators and compound operators. We will look at the simple assignment operator first, and we'll come back to the compound assignment operators later in the lesson. The simple assignment operator can be declared using an equals sign. We've been using this operator throughout the previous lessons, but let's recap on it. If we type int num equals 10, what we are doing here is assigning the value 10 to the integer num that we are declaring. The value 10 will remain assigned to num until it is overwritten. We can confirm the value 10 is stored in num by typing console.writeLine and placing the num variable inside the brackets. We can then run the program. We can see that the value 10 is displayed on screen, which is the value that we assigned to the num variable. Before we look at compound assignment operators, we are going to take a look at a different type of operator called arithmetic operators, as we need to understand how these work before we can look at compound operators. Arithmetic operators are used to perform basic mathematical operations such as addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Other forms of arithmetic operators include modulus, increment, and decrement. The plus symbol is used for the addition operator. If we type int num1 equals 5 plus 5 with a semicolon, we can then use a console.writeLine command to display the value of num1. We can then run the program. We can see that the value 10 is displayed. This shows that the value stored in num1 was the result of adding 5 plus 5 together. The addition operator can also add a variable and a number together. It doesn't have to be two numbers. For example, if we change the value of num1 to 10 and declare another integer variable called num2, we can then say that num2 equals num1 plus 3. We can then change the value in the writeLine command to num2 instead of num1. We can now run the program. We can see that the value 13 is displayed. This shows that the value stored in num2 was the result of adding num1 and 3 together. It is also possible to add two variables together. If we change num2 to have a value of 3 and declare another integer value called num3, we are going to say that num3 equals num1 plus num2. We can then change our writeLine command to display the value of num3. Let's run the program and see. The number 13 is displayed, which is what we expect to see. The subtraction operator, which uses the minus symbol, works the exact same way as the addition operator. Since we have num3 in our writeLine command, let's ignore num1 and num2 for a minute. We can change the value of num3 to be equal to 20 minus 4. We can then run the program. As num3 is the value in our writeLine command, the value 16 is displayed. Just like the addition operator, we can also use a combination of variables and numbers. We can replace the number 20 with num1. Now we are saying num3 is equal to num1 minus 4. And we know that the value 10 is stored in num1, so our result should change to 6. We can now run the program. The equation has worked and the correct value, 6, is displayed. We can also subtract two variables from each other by making num3 equal to num1 minus num2. Let's run the program again and see what happens. We can see that the value 7 is displayed as the value of num1 was 10 and the value of num2 was 3. The correct value is displayed. The star symbol is used for the multiplication operator. We can change num3 to be equal to num1, multiply by num2 by replacing the minus symbol with a star. We can then run the program again. We can see that the number 30 is displayed as 10 multiplied by 3 is 30. The / symbol is used as the division operator. We can change num3 to be equal to num1 divided by num2 by replacing the star symbol with a /. You need to be very careful when working with arithmetic operators to avoid errors in your program. We have declared num3 as an int, but the result of 10 divided by 3 is a number with a decimal point. We would need to declare num3 as a floating point number to avoid an error, but I'm just going to change the value of num1 to 12. So the result will be a whole number. We can then run the program. The number 4 is displayed because 12 divided by 3 is 4. Some of the other commonly used arithmetic operators include the increment operator and the decrement operator. 2 plus symbols are used for the increment operator. This operator simply increases the value of a variable by 1 if we declare an integer x and make it equal to 1. We can use a console.writeLine to display the value of x. We can then use the increment operator to increase the value of x by 1 by typing x plus with a semicolon. We can use another console.writeLine to display the value of x. Let's run the program to see what happens. As you can see, the initial value of x was 1. After we incremented it, the value of x has increased to 2. The decrement operator functions in the exact same way, but decreases the value of a variable by 1. 2 minus symbols are used for the decrement operator. If we change the initial value of the integer to 5, we can then change to a decrement operator to decrease the value of x by 1 by changing the plus signs to minus signs. Let's run the program to see what happens. As you can see, the initial value of x was 5. After we decremented it, the value of x has decreased to 4. The first operator we looked at was the assignment operator. This involved using an equal sign to make a variable equal to a value. This is known as a simple assignment operator. A compound assignment operator works in the same way, but also incorporates arithmetic elements. For example, the addition assignment operator, which uses the plus equals symbol, adds a value to a variable. If we say int x equals 10 with a semicolon, we can then say that x plus equals 3. This is the same as saying x is equal to x plus 3. We can use a console.writeLine to display the result. We can then run the program as the initial value of x was 10, and we used an addition assignment to add 3 to this value. The result is 13. The subtraction assignment operator, which uses the minus equal symbol, subtracts a value from a variable. We can change our program to a subtraction assignment operator by changing the plus equals to a minus equals. We can then run the program. As the initial value of x was 10, and we used a subtraction assignment to subtract 3 from this value, the result is 7. The same can be done to create a multiplication or a division assignment operator. There are a number of other compound assignment operators in the C# language, but we will leave them for now. We might look at some of them in later lessons. In the next lesson, we are going to look at comparison operators and logical operators. If you enjoyed this lesson, please like the video and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next lesson.